Namaste viewers. Today we are going to discuss one of the important topic in embryology, that is placenta in mammals and its structure and functions. Animals are classified as viviparous and oviparous based on how they give birth to their young ones. In oviparous animals, the egg consists of large quantity of yolk, whereas in viviparous animals, the embryonic development take place inside the uterus of the mother because the eggs have least quantity of yolk. Thus, the developing embryo has to depend on the mother in lesser or greater degree for its nourishment, respiration, and other physiological activities. Such embryos often get attached with the uterine wall of the mother to draw necessary substances from the maternal circulation by means of an organ called placenta. It can be defined as an organ built up of maternal and fetal tissues jointly, which serves for the exchange of nutrients and gases between the tissues of the mother and the embryo. The part derived from fetus is called as fetal placenta, while the derived from uterine wall is called as maternal placenta. The term placentation may be defined as an intimate relation between a portion of maternal uterine wall and a part or whole of the chorionic membrane or trophoblast of the embryo for the purpose of nutrition, respiration, and excretion. Placentation involves a series of events following implantation of embryo and leading to development of placenta. Here, these are the different functions of placenta. In all eutherian mammals, the structure and functions of placenta is common, but there are striking differences among species. These differences we'll discuss in detail. On the basis of mode of implantation, the placenta is divided into the following types. Before going to discuss about the classification, now we will know about the implantation. In all viviparous mammals, implantation of the embryo onto the uterus is a prerequisite to placentation. In mammals, the embryo enters the uterus at the stage of blastocyst and become attached to the wall of the uterus, where it is undergoes subsequent development. This attachment of blastocyst to the uterine wall is known as implantation. This is affected by small finger-like process, the villi, which grow out from a particular area or areas of trophoblast of embryo and penetrate into corresponding crypts in the maternal uterine wall. Blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, and glands of uterine wall enlarge and their secretions in the lumen of uterus provide nourishment to the embryo. Implantation generally occurs in one of the following three manners. They are: the first one is the superficial, or it is also called as central, or it is also called as uparitala pinda pratistapanamu. In superficial implantation, the blastocyst becomes attached to the surface of the uterine epithelium and thus lies in the cavity of uterus. This type of implantation is generally found in carnivores, insectivores, and in some monkeys. And the second one is the eccentric implantation. It is commonly found in mouse, rat, squirrel, and beavers, etc. In this type of implantation, the mucous lining of uterus gives out folds to cover the embryo, which is embedded in a groove or pocket of main uterine cavity. This implantation accomplishes precise and specific attachment of the embryo to the uterine wall of the mammals. And the third one is the interstitial implantation. Here in this implantation, there is a extremely intimate connection between the fetal and maternal tissues, so that the blastocyst or embryo penetrates deep into the uterine wall to become completely surrounded by it, and the development of embryo takes place inside the uterine wall. The examples are hedgehog, guinea pig, some of the bats, apes, and man. Depending on the extra embryonic layers involved in the formation of placenta, the placenta can be defined into various types. Before going to discuss about this, in the formation of placenta, primarily 6 types of tissues will be involved. They are 3 tissues from the embryo and 3 tissues from the mother. From the fetus, the following tissues will be involved, that is endothelium of fetal blood vessel, and the second one is the chorionic connective tissue, and the third one is the chorionic epithelium. This is also known as trophoblast. And from the mother, these are also called as maternal placental tissue. The outer one is the uterine epithelium, and the second one is the uterine endometrial connective tissue, and the third one is the endothelium of maternal blood vessels. These are the important tissues which involved in the formation of placenta. These are the extra embryonic membranes surrounded by the embryo. They are amnion, chorion, yolk sac, and allantois. There are 2 types of placenta depending on the presence of extra embryonic membranes that involved in the formation of placenta. They are yolk sac placenta and chorioallantoic placenta. First we will discuss about the yolk sac placenta. It is also called as choriovitelline placenta. In some marsupials, the examples are didelphys and macropus. Allantois remains relatively small and never makes contact with chorion, whereas the yolk sac with its network of vitelline blood vessels becomes very large and fuses broadly with chorion. The chorionic blood supply is made by the blood sinuses of the yolk sac, hence it is also known as yolk sac placenta. The examples are didelphys and macropus. Here we can see the Spirna jaegina, the hammerfish, also consisting of this type of primitive type of placenta. And the second one is the chorioallantoic placenta. It is found in all eutherian mammals. In this type of placenta, the yolk sac remains rudimentary and allantoic becomes well developed and vascularized. It fuses with chorion and forms the chorioallantoic placenta. These 2 are the examples. First one, it is also called as Sonosanchi Jaraivu, and second one allantochorionic placenta. దీన్నే మనం ఆలింద పరాయు జరాయువు అని కూడా పిలుస్తాము. On the degree of contact between chorionic villi and the endometrium wall, the placenta can be defined into 3 types. The first one is called as non-deciduate placenta. దీనినే మనము అపాతుకీయ జరాయువు అని కూడా పిలుస్తాము. In this type of placenta, the chorionic villi are simple and minute. They lie on the crypts of uterine wall opposing endometrium and do not fuse with it. At the time of birth, when parturition occurs, the chorionic villi are simply drawn out by the depression without any damage to the uterine wall. Hence, no bleeding can be taken place. Examples: pigs and cattle. And the second one is called as deciduate placenta. It is also called as Patuki Jarayu. In this higher eutherian animals, including dog, rabbit and man, the degree of intimacy between maternal and fetal tissue is increased. The allentochorionic villi become complex and penetrate deeper into the uterine tissue. Chorionic villi fuse with eroded uterine mucosa to various degrees so that the chorionic epithelium comes to lie in the connective tissue or into the maternal blood, facilitating the passage of substances from the mother to the fetus and vice versa. This is known as true placenta. And the third type of placenta is also called as contradeciduate placenta. In some animals like talpa and premoles, no part of placenta is thrown out. The fetal part of the placenta remains in the uterus, where it is broken up or absorbed in situ by maternal leukocytes. This type of placenta is known as contradeciduate placenta. And the second type of classification is depending upon the distribution pattern of chorionic villi, అంకురికల విస్తరణ ఆకృతి పరంగా జరాయువును వివిధ రకాలుగా విభజించారు. The first one among is diffuse placenta. దీనినే వ్యాపన జరాయువు అని కూడా పిలుస్తాము. Villi remains scattered all over the surface of allentochorion. Examples are ungulates like pig, cow, sow, mare, horse, lemur, etc. The second one is cotyledonary placenta. దీనినే బీజదళ జరాయువు అని కూడా పిలుస్తారు. Villi are grouped in well spaced prominent rosettes or patches known as cotyledons. The rest of the chorionic surface is smooth. Examples are cattle, sheep, deer and goat. The third one is intermediate placenta. It is also known as intermediate placenta. It is a rare type of placenta. It shows free villi on cotyledons. Villi are arranged in cotyledons as well as scattered. Hence it is called as intermediate placenta. The examples are camel and giraffe. The above three placenta are examples for non-deciduate placenta, and the examples for deciduate placenta are the fourth one, that is Jonary placenta. It is also called as Mandalika Jarayu. In carnivora animals like cat, dog, elephants, dugongs, the villi develop in the form of a belt or a girdle around the middle of the chorionic sac. Example, in raccoons it is complete Jonary placenta. And the next one is the discoidal placenta. దీనినే మనము చక్రాభ జరాయువు అని కూడా పిలుస్తాము. villi are restricted to a circular disc or plate on the dorsal surface of the blastocyst. Examples are insectivores, bats, rodents. For examples of rodents, rat and mouse. And the next one is the metadiscoidal placenta. In this metadiscoidal placenta, villi are first scattered but later become restricted to one or two areas. If the placenta has a single disc shaped villi area, it is called as monodiscoidal placenta. It is seen in man, whereas in monkeys the placenta consists of two disc shaped villi, so it is called as bidiscoidal placenta. And the next type of classification is based on the degree of intimacy between the fetal and maternal tissues. Histologically, there are the following tissues which form barrier to separate fetal blood from maternal blood vessel. Maternal blood, they are fetal placental tissues and maternal placental tissues. To increase effectiveness or efficiency of placenta, it is necessary to reduce the number of tissues between maternal and fetal blood streams. Nature of reduction or erosion of tissues varies greatly in different mammals. The following 5 histological types of reduction observed. The first one is epitheliochorial placenta. It is the simplest type with all the 6 tissue barriers present. It is supposed to be the most primitive form of placenta. Examples are marsupials, ungulates, lemurs, whales and dolphins. And the second one is the syndesmochorial placenta. In this type of placenta, only the uterine epithelium is eroded. That means only 5 tissue barriers are present, so that chorionic epithelium or trophoblastic ectoderm comes in contact with uterine tissue. The examples are cattle, sheep, goat and camel. And the third one is the endotheliocorial placenta. In this type of placenta, the uterine epithelium as well as uterine connective tissue are eroded, so that the chorionic epithelium comes in contact with the endothelium of maternal blood vessels. Examples are dogs, cats, bears, shrews and moles. Here we can see only 4 barriers. And the fourth one is the hemochorial placenta. In this type of placenta, the endothelium of maternal blood vessels also disappears. Only 3 tissue barriers present in between the mother and fetus. The chorionic epithelium and blood vessels of fetal villi are directly bathed in maternal blood following in sinuses. Examples are man, monkey, ape and some insectivorous and primitive rodents. And the fifth one is hemoendothelial placenta. In this type of placenta, all the 3 maternal tissues and 2 fetal tissues, that is trophoblastic endoderm, ectoderm and chorionic connective tissue are eroded. Only endothelium of the fetal capillaries remain intact, allowing the fetal capillaries to come in direct contact with maternal blood. Examples are rat, guinea pig and rabbit. We had seen all different types of placental types. Before going to conclude this topic, we will discuss the important functions of placenta. Placenta performs many important functions for the benefit of the developing fetus in the mother body. Placenta acts like an ordinary semi-permeable or ultra-filter on the distribution of substances between the mother and fetus. Besides acting as to and fro passes for maternal and fetal biochemical molecules, it serves as storage reservoir. It acts as respiratory organ of the embryo. It contains numerous blood sinuses and the chorionic villi remain in the sinuses. Oxygen passes from maternal blood to the fetal blood while carbon dioxide passes in reverse direction. It also acts as excretory organ. Along with the transport of nutrients and gases, antibodies which have developed in the blood of mother who has acquired immunity to certain diseases are passed on to the fetus. Placenta participates in the metabolism of proteins by secreting local enzymes. It also serves as an efficient barrier against the transmission of bacteria. It also acts as endocrine gland. It secretes many hormones such as estradiol, progesterone, chorionic gonadotropin, and placental lactose. It is also secretes relaxin for the relaxation of pelvic ligaments to facilitate the birth of the young one. So these are the different functions which is performed by the placenta. Thank you.